when you're on the table, I don't necessarily see the flows. I'm drawn to where there's congestion. I'm drawn to pain. I mean, I know where there's trouble in the body. I just know it. I can't really say that I'm showed or I'm told. I just know. And it is totally up to, our body has an infinite wisdom that we don't appreciate on this planet because we've never been taught to appreciate it. And no one understands it totally yet. Our physical body is very intelligent. It knows how to keep us very, very healthy, very much happy and alive. The problem is we're taught to fight it. We're taught not to listen to our body. We're taught how to stay separated from our body. So in order for the body, however, because that's our earth transport system, this physical body that we're in, because our energy soul comes in to the earth, and to be on the physical planet of earth, you've got to have a transport system. That's what our physical body is. The physical body cannot operate to its intelligence unless the energy being stays grounded in the physical body. So, I'm getting off topic here, but the energy soul has to stay in the physical body in order to allow both to function together and to have the happiest experience here on earth. And the way we do that is the emotions. The emotions are the everything. The emotions are the golden nuggets. They're the guidance system. They're everything to keeping this body working so that we could live literally to any age we wanted, 500 years old, and be in a very, very, very healthy state of a 20-year-old. We're just not taught that yet in our collective society. So the collective holds the belief that you age, you suffer, you die. So that's what we're doing. If our collective believed in our physical bodies, we could be living to much older ages in a very healthy condition, sit down in a chair and say, well, I finished everything I came to do, but now I'm transitioning. I see a lot of questions out there. Mind's processing. That's something else I can see. When I look at someone, I can see, I can't read minds, that's not it, but I know what you're feeling. I can tell if you're in confusion. I can tell if you're accepting what I'm saying, you're rejecting what I'm saying, if you're angry, if you're sad. I feel it, I know it. And it's not like I see anything, but yet I have to see the person, so I'm assuming there is something through my eyes that I get that information. Because I don't see auras around people. I do sometimes, but not colors. But I can see the energy around a person. Okay, the gifts will come for many people even before they even start healing. Some people get, they're open and they've got them. The thing of it is, until they release a lot, we never get it all released, but until they release a lot of the trapped emotion that's in their energy field, they're not using their gifts to their optimum value, because their filter to life is cloudy because of this trapped emotion. So if, let's say even if they're a medium and they're reading spirits, their filter is the information that comes in from the spirit is going to be filtered through that cloudy filter. It just has to be. And for example, if a spirit said, this is way off base, but if a spirit said, tell them they're going to live to 200 years old, this filter of this person's probably going to ignore that because it doesn't register with them, because they're not clear enough to accept the spirit said say that. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they're going to change the information they're getting. So that's what I mean by not being at the optimum level that they could be with their gifts.
So does a healer like you have to constantly release your trapped emotions and
Absolutely.
do energy work yourself to keep?
That's what, yes. Because without doing that, then I'm not at the optimum level to be able to work on people. So the clearer I stay. And the goal here, I caught that in what you said, the goal here is to release the trapped emotion that you have stored in your energy field, which is everyone has, because that's how we learn to survive on this planet. But you get to this point where it no longer is working to keep stuffing emotions. And that's when you go on the path of, I gotta be different, I gotta do something different. So when you do that, then it allows the body to release the emotions. But the whole point of this is to learn your emotions. You learn what anger feels like. You know what it feels like in your body, and you can name it before it really gets a grip on you. Oh, I'm getting angry. Oh, I know that in order to release my anger, I need to do such and such. And if you're a person that has a lot of stored anger, then you're going to blow probably. So you know, if you learn your emotions, you learn how to cope in society with the level that you're at. Because once you release enough of your stored emotions, nothing's going to trigger you. And if it does trigger you, then it's like, oh, I need to look at that. That hits something I haven't healed yet. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't be at a place of business and they're doing something just totally off of the wall and you're not going to get angry. That's a normal, healthy emotion. And you will deal with that in the moment. Feel it, heal it, release it. Not on that person. You'll deal with it internally and know you may need to raise your voice because that's the only way this person's going to hear you, because that's the only level they're working at. So you may have to match them in order to get what you need because you're being wronged, but it doesn't allow you, it doesn't mean that you would hurt them or harm them. So what I'm trying to say is, when you get the majority of the trapped emotion out, that's when you have to learn how to feel, heal, and release your emotions, because that's what puts you in your personal power. Because without that, you're just going to keep storing them. You have to break that pattern of ignoring your feeling that's coming up or the emotion that's coming up. So if your cat dies and you say, oh, and you try to stuff it and you don't allow yourself to grieve it, you're stuffing again. You're just filling your energy field back up after all the work you've done to try to release it all. You have to learn the emotions. That's the point of releasing this emotion, is to feel it so you can allow it to move on out. Because what happened in the beginning was you had the emotion, but you were probably told, don't you cry, or you can't get angry. So you learned what to do with it. You had to stuff it. That's what I call it. Now you have to learn to be on this planet and to be in your power and in your light. You have to learn how to feel that emotion. Feel the sadness and allow it to move on out. Don't store it. You don't need baggage in your energy field, because that's what starts affecting you. You get enough baggage in the energy field, that's when you start getting physical symptoms. No matter what it is. It can be toenail fungus, it can be a pain in your elbow, it can be heart trouble. It can be any symptom that your body's giving you is saying, you got problems out here in the energy field, because everything starts in the energy field. Everything. Because we're an energy soul. We're just in a human transport system, and this system will work with us if we treat it the way it needs to be treated, if we work with it and know how to work with it. But that's what we're not taught on this planet. We're not taught how to work with the body. We're literally taught how not to work with it. We're taught to work long hours. Don't give it any rest. We're taught to work even though you're sick. Don't rest if you're needing rest. We're taught, I could go on all night about how we're taught to do it wrong instead of supporting the body. And that's where we end up in the process of not loving ourselves, because we're literally taught not to love ourselves. And we don't really get the full concept of what it means to love yourself. Because to love yourself, you would be very grateful for this physical transport that you get for your soul on this planet. you would treat it like it was the most precious diamond there was. You wouldn't eat those synthetic foods with all the preservatives and chemicals in it. You wouldn't dream of putting that in your physical body. You don't put anything but gasoline in your car. You treat it better than you do your physical body. But that's because the collective and the way that we've been taught. We've literally been taught to abuse our bodies instead of how to support them.
Why is that?
In our theory of what we would say is, it's a battle. We're on the earth, which is a battle of light and dark, good and evil, whatever you want to call it. It's all opposites because it has to be a planet of learning. You can't learn lessons unless you have opposites. So it's always the battle, light and dark. So the dark has been able to infiltrate many things and affect. It's smart. It's as smart as the light. I mean, we've got an equal battle going on, and it's constantly who's got the edge. The dark wants us to not know how our bodies work. The dark wants us to continue feeding the dark. That's all the low frequency stuff. That's depression, that's illness, that's sadness, that's anger, frustration. I mean, you name them. It just goes on and on. The lower frequency emotions is what feeds the dark and keeps it alive and keeps it in control. So it has had the majority hold for a while, and the collective believes all of these beliefs that's in play that keeps us from being in the high frequency and shining our lights. Does that help?
Yeah.
Any questions around that? I see a lot of thought.
Sounds like balance.
Mhm.
Balance.
It's always balance.
But I'd rather have the light a little higher than the
Yes.
dark.
Yes.
Not,
And we always have a choice, and we're completely dark and light ourselves. We have both, and we have to know both sides of ourselves. We have to know how far we'll go on the dark side. We have to know our light side so that we can keep in balance and make the choices that fit our own inner moral code. Everyone has their own inner moral code. It's not one that's written for everyone. It is your own inner moral code. What feels right to you. That's what you have to live by. And that's what you have to make your choices by. But it's no different than the typical thing of, oh, you'll be tempted. You know, the dark may have something really cool that tempts you to go there. Or the light may have something that tempts you to go there. It's always choices. We always have choices. But you have to, what we teach is to always ask yourself, a friend told me this, does this feel good or does this not feel good? Is this in my highest good or is this not in my highest good? And you have to determine your choices. Your choices are what lead you to who and what you are.